Well, I guess my question is, I feel like you're a straight talker.
I am.
Except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
So why do that? Like, what was the reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people?
Puff and his artist run out the room naked. And Puff just looked at the artist, and the artist said, "You ain't want to come up in there? It was a lot of freak going on."
So 3 minutes later, after them telling me, "Hey, you got eyes on Will, we need him to come watch this." So I'm running all over the studio. He's not in his dressing room. I go to the cafeteria. I'm like, but I see his car there. I'm like, where's this guy at? So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Like, it was.
Y'all, Jada Pinkett Smith has once again hit up a podcast, seemingly just to throw Will Smith under the bus. This time, she didn't hold back. She confirmed long-standing rumors that Will and Diddy had a romantic relationship and, allegedly, hooked up multiple times. Now, if there's one thing Jada Pinkett Smith is going to do without being asked, it's overshare details about Will that make him look terrible. And based on how things are going, it looks like their already fragile marriage could be heading for its final chapter, because Jada seems determined to completely tear him down. According to her, this wasn't just some one-time fling. She's claiming that Will and Diddy had been involved for years. And get this, she says there's actual footage to back it up. Yep, real video evidence of their private moments. She's not just throwing out rumors either. Allegedly, she has specifics, receipts, and even some explicit details about what went down. But it gets even wilder. Jada is allegedly threatening to release that footage if certain conditions aren't met. That's not all. She might even be suggesting that Will and Diddy were involved in some shady stuff together. Or did she just expose Will as being Diddy's bottom this whole time? It's a lot to take in, so let's break it down. One thing we've learned about Jada over the years is that she never misses a chance to publicly embarrass Will. And considering all the controversy Diddy is currently facing with lawsuits and allegations, you'd think she'd keep quiet and lay low, but nope. She's coming even harder now, spilling tea that Will was allegedly Diddy's bottom all along. According to her, Diddy was a major reason why her marriage with Will fell apart. The two men have had a very close friendship for years, and fans have long admired them as a rare example of two powerful black men uplifting one another in the entertainment industry. Their bond was viewed as something positive and rare, but if what Jada's saying is true, that friendship went way beyond what we thought. Apparently, they were getting down behind closed doors, and how does she know? Well, allegedly, Jada says she walked in on them in the middle of the act, and that was the breaking point for her marriage. Looking back, that could explain why she's been so focused on publicly dragging Will. It sounds like she feels deeply betrayed, and when I say she's been on a mission to embarrass him, I mean she's been going all out, putting her full energy into making him a public spectacle, and not in a good way. It all really started in 2020 with the now infamous entanglement drama. That scandal blew up their image of a picture-perfect marriage. It began when singer August Alsina, who had once been close with the Smith family, dropped a bombshell in an interview, saying he had a romantic relationship with Jada for years. What really set the internet off, though, was his claim that Will had actually given him the green light. That revelation sparked a firestorm of speculation, with people combing through every detail and wondering what was really happening behind the scenes in the Smith household.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, you know, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it.
But the fallout was massive. People had a lot to say. Both Will and Jada were dragged online, but Jada definitely caught the brunt of the backlash. According to August, their relationship began back in 2016 when he was just 23, and Jada was a full-grown adult in her 40s. And it wasn't just the age difference that had folks raising eyebrows. At the time, August was actually living with the Smiths while going through some serious health and personal challenges. Plus, he was super close friends with Jaden, which made the whole situation feel extra uncomfortable to a lot of people. Eventually, Jada and Will sat down at the Red Table Talk, y'all remember that, to finally address the situation head on. Will flat out denied ever giving August his blessing, despite August previously claiming otherwise. They clarified that Jada's relationship with August took place during a period when she and Will were separated, and according to her, she ended things with August once she and Will decided to reconcile.
I was going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we basically...
Anyway, she eventually came clean and admitted that she had been in an entanglement with August.
You know, I think from there, you know, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
Once everything was out in the open, the internet exploded. People were dragging them from every angle, but like I mentioned earlier, Jada took the most heat. And from that moment on, the situation just kept spiraling. Fans couldn't stop dissecting their relationship, calling it toxic and dysfunctional, especially because Jada kept making comments that made it seem like she never truly wanted to be with Will in the first place. One of the biggest bombshells came when Jada admitted that she never actually wanted to marry Will at all. She revealed that the only reason she went through with the wedding was because her mother basically pressured her into it.
We didn't want to get married, but...
We only got married because Gammy was crying.
I was under so much pressure, you know, being a young actress, being young, and I was just like pregnant. I was just like, I didn't know what to do, but I just knew. I was like, I never wanted to be married.
Then there was the time Will opened up about planning this grand, over-the-top 40th birthday celebration for Jada. He spent years putting it all together, thinking it would be the perfect way to lift her spirits, especially since she was going through a bit of a midlife crisis at the time. But instead of being moved by the gesture, Jada completely shut it down. She said the whole thing felt more like a performance to boost Will's ego than something that was truly about her. That confession didn't sit well with fans at all. In fact, it only made things worse. People began questioning why Will kept going above and beyond for someone who didn't seem to appreciate it or even really want to be with him.
Day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday. I hired a documentary team. I traced Mommy's family roots. Her 40th birthday was going to be my thing.
It was going to be a splash.
It was going to be a splash. Mary J. Blige performed. I debuted the film, all of that. It was going to be the thing that lifted her out of this midlife crisis, and it was going to be my deepest, most beautiful proclamation of love. And she's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego. Crushed. Right? And to this day, I know I was crushed because it was true.
And let's not forget the time Jada basically implied that Will doesn't satisfy her in the bedroom. Now, to be fair, she later clarified her comments, admitting she needed to be better at communicating her needs. She posted, "Only because I got time today. Stop making up headlines. Watch the Red Table Talk I did with Gwyneth Paltrow for yourselves. Will and I never had an issue in the bedroom. Thank you still." By that point, a lot of people were already looking sideways at Jada. To many, it felt like she was deliberately going out of her way to humiliate Will. And it wasn't just about what she said in interviews. It was also the way she'd start recording him when it was obvious he didn't want to be on camera. You could see it in his face. He looked uncomfortable, sometimes even frustrated, but she'd keep filming anyway. Then she'd post the clips online, often making remarks that came off as cold or even mean, and people started questioning why she kept putting him in those situations.
Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the Red Table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just...
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start roll. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the Red Table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?